Hello Floss Tube, this is Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Monday the 26th of August. It is my 35th Floss Tube video, and today we're starting with the cabinet that I purchased and spoke about in my last video. I don't know if you're aware, but I use my computer to make my videos, and this was the only way I could figure out to show you the cabinet. There's probably a better way, but I'm not sure what it is. So you're sitting on a chair right now up front and looking at a still picture of the cabinet. Right now I have a bunch of my whips in there. My plan is that once a month I'll switch them out for something else. I'm hoping some of the stitchers will bring their whips in that they're not currently working on, and allow me to borrow them for a month so that there's a good variety of pieces that will be on display. People are really liking the idea, and right now I have the Village of Hawk Run Hollow, Cornwall Cottage, Garden Fair, Three Things, Winter is Past, Pains of Love, Checkerboard Stag, Coverlet Houses, and Harvest Keeper. So I've got quite a few charts in there. Predominantly, oh, I did forget one. What is that one? I don't know. They're predominantly samplery type, so I think it would be good if some of my customers would bring their things in so that there's a different, kind of different variety. Because when I look at my whips, there's a lot of samplers in them. You didn't think I was a sampler person, but apparently I am. Anyway, I'm going to move the chair closer. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I hope you don't get seasick. It'll give you a little bit better view anyway, and it will make a little bit of noise, so I apologize. Got your seatbelt on? Here we go. I really don't know if this is showing you anything at all, but I hope it is. Bump in the floor there. And that's your tour. I wish there was a better way. Maybe there is. If you want to let me know what it is, that would be awesome. But for now, that's what I can show you. I'm going to pause this and go sit down. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, sitting down. I hope that went okay. I'm not going to know until I'm at the end of the video, and then it's kind of too late. So, sorry. Welcome back if you've been here before. Big welcome if you're new. I have some whips to show you. I have Dan's whip to show you. I have some new in the shop, and I pulled some fabric and flosses, and general chit chat, I guess. I was gonna sit down and I was gonna make out a plan and be all organized, and let's face it, that's just not me. So if you like an organized video, this is probably not the one for you. Although I hate to see you go if you do. But anyway, I hope your August has been good. Mine's been busy. The summer was pretty slow here at the shop. Not terribly slow, but slower. It did allow me to get, oh, here's a big news flash, all caught up with framing. I probably shouldn't put that out into the universe, but I am what I would consider caught up. It doesn't mean there's no framing back there. It just means that I'm in a place where I'm not feeling so stressed and feeling like I have to apologize all the time to people for how long it's taking me. Anyway, so August has been busy. There's been a lot of comings and goings, and a lot of visitors to the store. I had a bunch of people, ladies in this week that were at a quilting retreat in Nebraska City. Apparently it's held twice a year, and they come both times, and they had heard there was a cross-stitch store, and a few of them are getting back into cross-stitch after having been away for a while, and that's always good to hear. So they were nice to chat with. I enjoyed visiting with them. Quite a few of them said they would be back in March, so I'll look forward to seeing them again. So yeah, that's been keeping us busy. I'm just gonna jump right into whips. Yeah, I'm gonna jump right into whips right now. Just get this going, and we'll go from there. I gotta grab one more thing, so hang on. Back. Okay, I'm gonna start with Panoply of Posies. I don't have anything pulled out. It's a Tempting Tangles design, and I have converted the colors to, so we didn't have, this has been a long-standing whip, and we didn't have the colors needed, and I wanted to start it, and so I converted it to my own colors. It took me a long time to find a brown that I liked, because I just liked it looking old. I think I'm doing this on 36 count with one strand over 2, which normally I don't like, but again, I wanted an old look. And that meant over using just one strand on 36 count. So there's my progress. Last time I showed it, I had this top part done. So I finished that motif and I started this motif, which on the chart is right there. So I did a little. I'm still working on trying to get the retreat piece finished, and I'm a long way from finishing, so that I still don't know if that's going to happen. I hope so, but I don't know. So that was my Panoply of Posies. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I don't know for sure. I also worked on the Blue Flower Quilting Bee. This one's really pretty. I like it. I really like it. Put that behind it. I'm doing mine on 40 count Lagoon from Picture This Plus. I've made no color substitutions. So I think last time I had part of his head done and maybe one leg, so I've got the outline of both of the wings now. That one's a fun one to stitch. I'm enjoying that. Next, I worked on just for a hot minute, like hardly any time at all. But I did work on it, so I'm counting it. Game of Swans. And there's my progress on that. This is on platinum, 40 count. I finished up this flower right here, and I think that's it. I may have shown this in the last one. Maybe I haven't worked on it. I don't remember. But you see it again. It's a pretty piece, you won't mind. Right? Right. And I don't know, did I show that one the last time? I usually watch the last video before and I haven't. So I'm not going to show you that one because I think I did it the last times. So that leaves me with what Dan is working on, which is a Twin Peak Primitives. We don't have any on the wall. And I thought it was maybe small enough to get him back into stitching so that maybe he'd catch the bug again and then want to finish his Hawk Run Hollow. So he has been stitching on it every night. It's Heroic Use, Giving Thanks. The called for color was just a natural Ada, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. Go figure, right? Julie, she wanted to do something different. Dan is not liking his Q-snap this time around. So he says it's just not holding, and it's an actual Q-snap, but he says it's not holding his fabric tight enough. So I think he swapped out the clamps for some other clamps. It's got is all wrinkly. Be lucky if I get those wrinkles out. Okay, so I did something different for this one. Twin Peaks uses, as far as I know, predominantly DMC. And I wanted to try something different both with the fabric, and I converted it to overdyes because I wanted a little bit of, I wanted some variegation to it. So this is my own conversion. I haven't written it down yet. I'm liking how it's turning out so far. There's one color I'm having him leave off because I'm not sure what I want to do for it yet. And so far the only thing we don't like is the fact that the bird in the barn roof doesn't show up real well. So I may have him go back in and stitch that with 2 strands, because right now it's 36 count with 1 strand over 2, and that bird does kind of blend into the roof. So we may go back over it and do a second strand. See, you can't see him very well. But that, so it's kind of a bluish greenish colored fabric, which I think looks great with the fall colors. What do you think? Yay? Nay? The lighting is not very good in here today. It's kind of a cloudy, overcast. It was raining when I came in kind of day, and so it's just kind of dark in here. I'm sorry. So that is what we've been working on, aside from doing, Dan's been doing a lot of outdoor work in the gardens, and I've been working on fobs and needle minders, and it's just been busy, really busy. So that's it for stitching. Now, for what's new in the shop, I've got quite a few things. I think I will just start with things that I didn't pull anything for, just to give you an idea of some of the new stuff. These are not necessarily new. They're copyright 2017, but they're new to my shop. They're from Sugar Stitches, and I just thought they were sweet little designs. That's one. This is it's a monthly series. I just ordered January for now to see if there was any interest in them. This one's called Kringle's Tree Farm. And the Boo Crew. I think the polka dot cat is cute. Heart and Hand has Patchwork Sheep. Scaredy Cats from Kitten Bixby. This Kitten Bixby's cat series is always sold really well here. I thought that one was really cute. I had 3 and 4 of the Sew Together series. I had both of them, but number 4 sold on Saturday, so you only get to see number 3. I really like that bird. We're having a smalls exchange at Retreat in October, and I was thinking that would make a really cute small to exchange. I haven't started that either. Crossed Wing, I think this is the 3rd one in the series of the little biscornests. Scarlet House has Elizabeth Hunter 1853. That's a nice sampler. Wouldn't take very long to stitch it up, I don't think. Fox and Rabbit came out with Margaret McNown's 1828. And then, let me see. Let's start with Annie B's. She had 2 new ones that I brought into the shop. The sunflower one sold Friday and Saturday, so the only one that was left was this sunflower row. And I really liked the picture. However, the colors, when I pulled them, look nothing like the picture. For instance, this, and this. Okay, so here's the, let me see if I can get this away that you can actually see it. Alright, so there's your color palette. There's your color palette. Okay? Now, look at the picture. There's your color palette. Do you see the color of the barn? That color does not exist in this color palette. That barn, when I went to look at it, because I'm like, did I forget to pull a color? What happened? Well, no, I didn't forget to pull a color. When I went to see what color that was supposed to be, it was these three colors. So that barn, the front side, this right here, okay, is this. Unless I'm reading this chart wrong, it's clay pot, which is pink. The dark side around the star is sarsaparilla. And then that pink star, see the pink star? I don't know if you can tell it's pink in this lighting, but that star is pink. Chrysanthemum. So I kind of did my own conversion for it so that that barn would look a little closer. I had to sub in, it calls for straw bonnet, which I haven't had straw bonnet in the shop for so long I can't even remember what it looks like. I'm assuming it's some sort of a creamy off-white color, so I subbed in eggshell for that. And then it also calls for tin bucket, which is also I haven't had for a while. So I'm just using gunmetal. I think that's just for the roof, so I think gunmetal will work just fine. But for those three colors that I showed you that are for the rest of the barn, the front and the sides, Buckeye Scarlet, that's for this part. For the darker parts around the star, if I'm reading correctly, it's cayenne. And then for that pink, the pink star, and there's other pinks in here, grapefruit. And I think that will look much more like the picture, which is what I liked. So just a little helpful hint there, let you know that don't assume it's going to look like that if you buy the called for colors. I did not pull a fabric for this one. It calls for summer khaki, but I think it would look fine on any kind of over-dyed, old-looking kind of winter brew or exemplar, vintage exemplar, anything like that is going to be fine for this one. I thought this was a really sweet design from Scissortail called Pumpkin Topiary, and it calls for platinum, which, if you're not familiar with platinum, looks like that, which is a nice color. It's a beautiful color, but I thought we could do a little better. So here's the color palette, adjusted slightly, as in I darkened up the greens one shade. So the darkest color that was called for is now the lightest color of green, and then I darkened it, I think is what I did. If you want to know, just give me a call, send me an email. I can tell you what I did. Anyway, I like Velt. Picture This Plus Velt, I think, is a beautiful fabric. Beautiful for fall. It's got the greens and the rusty browns, and I just thought it was perfect for this piece. I'm trying to get my fabric so it's not completely unfolded. Okay, so there's Velt. You can see the greens real well when I come in close, but you don't see there is browns. That's not really green, that's brown right in there. You'll have to trust me on this one. But the colors look really, really nice on here. I think that'd be really cute. This happens to be a 40 count. I don't know that I have Velt in anything else. In fact, fabric is becoming a real issue. I have orders. I've had an order in with Stephanie since May. Haven't heard from her. I sent an order in May with Angela from Color and Cotton. Haven't heard from her. Really, Picture This Plus and Lakeside Linens are the only linens I can get right now with any kind of regularity. Things are getting a little desperate. Just in case you don't want to use Velt, this is Winter Brew. It's just a very, very, very nice neutral. So it would look really pretty. And added bonus, smells good too. I don't drink coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee, but some of it smells really good. Okay. Ah, that's what this was. Again, I probably should have pulled a fabric color, and I didn't. But Amity Manor from, again, Twin Peak Primitives, I thought that was very good. Lord, I can't speak today. I thought it was a very pretty sampler. So I pulled the DMCs that are called for. And they were just a little bright for my taste. Especially in this instance, the reds were a little bit bright for me. A couple of the greens were a little bright for me. That's a blue. Green, Julie, green. The skin tone, there's some angels up here. I'm assuming that this is their skin tone. So I did a little fiddling with the colors. Kind of toned them down a little bit. Made them a little softer, a little more subdued. and changed them to overdyes. So these are now the reds. This is the orange. The rest of the colors, well, the one, there's 4 different greens in here. I don't know if you can see this one poking out from here. This one and this one are really close to the called for DMC, but I toned those other 2 greens down. Everything's just a little bit softer, a little bit less bright, a little more country. And again, those would look good on Winter Brew. So I don't know. I may have to. I think that's really pretty. I don't know. Did you notice there's a boat in here? There's the sheep. They had 543 as the sheep color, which is kind of pink, kind of a pinky tan. I whitened up my sheep to shabby sheep, and I changed the reds. And I would probably do, what is it, $9.50 for the angel faces, just because it's a nicer color. But I think those colors would be really pretty. I did write that one down because I may, and I like the saying, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. I like that saying. I like the flowers. There's cute little butterflies in the corners here. I just thought it was sweet. So that's that. And the last one I wanted to share with you, this is going to be a lesson in dye lots, as in do your floss toss before you buy. These are both doubloon. This one is much greener. This one is much more yellow. This is a 28 count doubloon. This is a 40 count doubloon. The reason I'm showing you doubloon is the next pattern that I have to show you calls for doubloon. But I wanted to show you the varying colors. This was an old dye lot of 40 count. The new dye lot is much greener. So it's always best, in my opinion, you can ignore it or not, get your floss and do a floss toss, because the colors that are called for in this next piece do not look good on this yellow. They do not. It's Elizabeth Walsh's work, which I think is really sweet. I love the bottom border here. So you get this pattern, the tray pattern, which I'm pretty sure comes from Hobby Lobby because I think I have one at home. And then there's a fob you can make. Going a little closer. And that fabric pictured is doubloon. It's supposed to be 36 count doubloon. I pulled the colors. I did have to sub the red, called for cherry cobbler. I've ordered it twice. It hasn't come in. And this may be just me. I do not like these colors on that yellow fabric. And I didn't really care for them even on the greener. You totally lose this color. So when I was playing around, I went a little more brown, still a golden brown. I have, this is 40 count chocolate milk from Hand Dyed by Stephanie. And yes, 40 count's about all I have left of that because, again, I ordered back in May. Haven't heard a word. So, it's looking a little green to me, but it's a nice, it does have green undertones, but I do like that. I think that'd be very pretty. And then vintage exemplar I think would be pretty. A little piece of murky in there. It has kind of that pinky undertones to it, and since there's so much pinky and red in here, I think that would be a really pretty combination. I love this color palette. So, there's just some ideas for you. That's all I have to show you. I wanted to get a video done before Labor Day weekend. I knew it wouldn't happen Labor Day weekend. And then I'm going out of town the weekend after that. I was thinking maybe taking the computer with me and filming while we're there. If I can talk the other ladies into being on camera. Which I think I can. I think they've all been on camera before. So we might film from there. Some of our, just kind of a stitch with us kind of thing. We'll see. So, update on Ben. He's having an infusion today. He was doing well. He usually gets headaches about 2 days afterwards, and the headaches last for 3 or 4 days. So, treatment is moving forward. Katie was tested and tested negative. I don't know if I said that in the last video or not. She was tested negative. We took Mom to a new neurologist. He is testing her for the autoimmune encephalitis. He didn't think that that's what's wrong with her, but he couldn't rule it out. So he's testing her, and he's ordered a, we've been begging for a EEG? EEG, I think. I get EEG and EKG. But I think it's the EEG that we've been begging for, and the other neurologist wouldn't do it. And this guy was like, well, yeah, we need to do that. He's got some ideas on maybe some things that could help Mom. But we have to get that. I'm going with EEG. We have to get that done first. And they couldn't get us in until October. So she's on a wait list in case there's cancellation, but I don't know. So that's the update on Ben and Kate and my mom. Dad is continuing to have some ventricular tachycardia, and he's filling with fluid. So that's not good. And let's see, Adam, Marcia, the girls, they're doing fine. Abby is feeling well. She had her gender reveal cupcake the other night. We had to drive out to the farm, and she's going to have a little girl in February, so we're all excited for that. It was kind of funny because you know, everyone had bit into their cupcakes and it was pink filling, and, Travis went back for a second cupcake, and I happen to have Abby's camera. I wish I had my own, but I happen to have her phone. And I caught him as he bit into the cupcake, and he looked at it, and he said, "Oh my God, this one is blue." And Abby's face it was so funny. It was like, "Oh my God, no." She really wanted a little girl. She didn't want to say that, but she really did. So when he said, "Oh, this one's blue," I thought she was going to wet her pants. So anyway, everyone was happy to hear that. We'd be happy with anything. We just want them to be healthy, which in this family would be a miracle. We got to check out her house that they're building, their house that they're building. And it's coming along slowly. I don't think they're probably going to be in it before the baby is born. The builder kept saying that they were going to be in by December, but I would be really surprised if they're in there by December. Like, really surprised. I'd be surprised if they're in by January or February. I'm thinking it's going to be more like March or April. But they'll be in when they're in. And so I've been getting little texts from Abby since last week that, you know, "Oh, look what I found." She found some pink leopard print crib sheets and some pale gray leopard print crib sheets. And I don't think she's decided on anything yet, but she pretty much thinks Pottery Barn is the bomb. So they're doing well. And talked to Amy and Emily yesterday, and they're settling into North Carolina, and they really like it there. King Louis is doing fine. And Dan is well. Like I said, he's stitching. He started Remy in puppy class yesterday. Now Remy is 6 months old as of Friday, so technically she's not supposed to be in puppy class. She's supposed to be in the older puppy class, but Melanie and family got a new puppy, and that puppy was starting puppy class, and Dan wanted to take the same class as what Melanie was doing, so they agreed to let Remy into the beginning class, and she did well. However, Remy has a problem with being in the car for longer than 20 minutes, and the ride to Petco is about 20 minutes. She made it there okay, but the ride home, with all the treats that she got from puppy class, the ride home, he pulled into the driveway and she hurled all over the seat of my car. So, yeah. It's a good thing that the ride to and from the house to work here is not, it's about 15 minutes. And she starts to yawn at about the 10-minute mark. Which I don't know about you, but Amy, when she was younger, had a problem with vomiting, and you could always tell it was coming because she'd start to yawn. Apparently Remy yawns before she vomits, because at about the 10-minute mark she starts yawning, and 20 minutes she pukes. So I don't think she'll be going on any long trips with us. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot. I hope everyone has a happy and safe Labor Day weekend. We're not going to do anything. We've got stitching here at the shop on Saturday. Sunday and Monday will probably be cleaning, so that the house is clean when I leave the following weekend, semi-clean. When you have pets, they drag in dirt all the time. So I can clean my floors and 5 minutes later there's grass on them, but it'll be semi-clean when I leave. And other than that, I got to clean out my car before I go. And that's about it. I know nothing. So I do want to say again, thank you for all your kind comments on the last video. You're way kinder than I anticipated. I thought it was a big mess, but apparently you all thought it was okay, so I appreciate that. The state fair is going on right now. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, now I'm not even going to say how many pieces my stitchers sent. It was somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 something. The results are in, and lots of ribbons were handed out. So I will show as much of that as I can when Lori brings the items back. But she'll be bringing them back right before I leave town, so I don't know if I'll get to it until after I get back from my little trip up to the Sandhills. But I know a lot of you entered your state fairs, your county fairs, and I want to say, you know, kudos to you for putting yourself out there. Just remember, that was one person's opinion on that one day, and you know, they might have had a bad day that day, so don't take it to heart if you didn't get a ribbon or they said something bad. I know someone was talking about, a couple of my stitchers that live in another state. The judge's comment was the fabric being distracting. But it was the fabric that was called for by the designer. Their particular fair, they don't allow you to send in a card. Our fair requires that you send in like a 3x5 note card. And you can put any information on there. You know, they want the basics, like the name of the chart and the designer's name and what fabric you used and floss and that kind of thing. But then you can put whatever you want the judge to know about that piece. So if you used all the called for supplies, then you can put that on there. If you made any changes, you put that on there. And that way the judge is more informed about, okay, well, that's what the designer called for, so that must be okay. I know I have a feeling that particular judge was probably older than the Hills and maybe not familiar with overdyed fabric. It was one of the Quaker seasons from Rosewood Manor. So it was a picture of this plus fabric that was used, and she didn't like it, so she put that on a couple of Colleen's pieces that the fabric distracted from the stitching, which, you know, again, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. All right, I'm done. I'm done rambling. I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks for watching. I will see you hopefully in a couple of weeks. If I don't think it will be before then, but maybe. You just never know. Take care. Till next time. Bye-bye. Hello again, Floss Tube. So, of course, as soon as I hit the stop button on my last video, the one recorded earlier today, I remembered a few things that I wanted to talk about. So I decided I would either add this to the end if I can figure out how to do that, or make a part B video. most likely it's going to be a part B video. And I don't even know if you're going to be able to see me because I'm out on the deck and the sun has decided to come out. So I don't know. But anyway, it occurred to me that I updated you all on Ben's progress, but I did not say thank you for your continued prayers. And I don't want you to think that I'm taking them for granted or that we do not appreciate them, because we do. I appreciate each and every one of you for sending good thoughts and prayers, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those thoughts and prayers. And hope that you will continue to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. So, once again, thank you. I don't want to be ungrateful because or seem ungrateful, because I am not. So that was one of the things that I'd forgotten to mention. The other thing was the Mary Clayton Stitch Along that Reflections will be hosting come October. At this point, I have approximately 40, I think it's a few over 40, signed up for the Stitch Along. And I wanted to let everyone know that the discount on the supplies for the Stitch Along ends this Wednesday. So this is Monday, it ends on Wednesday. I'm sending my final order for supplies in on Thursday. I've got 3/4 of the charts have arrived. The first order of a Verissois has not yet arrived. The second order will be going in on Thursday. The MPI silks have arrived, and I'm starting to cut the fabric for people. So it's coming along, but I am glad that it's delayed until October, because the fabric thing, like I mentioned earlier, is probably going to be a little bit of an issue. It's not an insurmountable problem. It's just going to be a little bit of an issue. So I'm really excited about how many have signed up, and I'm looking forward to starting that. Again, the start date is the 12th of October. It should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it'll be a lot of fun. Between now and then, I'll get a Facebook group set up, and I will be emailing you as I get everybody's supplies ready for them. I'll be emailing you and sending out PayPal invoices or whatever. So it should be, everything should be fine by the time we reach that date. One other thing I wanted to mention, I have been very neglectful. I received a wonderful card from Angie. You know her as Bub My. She sent a card. It's kind of a it's not really a thank you card. It's a thinking of, that's the word I'm looking for. Thinking of you card. I think I have it with me. I totally forgot to say something the last time. And then I forgot again today. And now I can't find it in my bag. Maybe I stuck it in here. No, I apparently don't have it with me. Anyway, she was thinking of us and Ben, and she sent a little tea bag. And I have neglected to say thank you. It was received. It made me cry. and I really appreciate you doing that. So thank you. And that is about, it's the only 3 things that I knew that I had forgotten. I stopped over at the vet's after I left the shop to see if, oh, it's okay, Remy, to see if there was anything they could do about the vomiting in the car. I don't want her to, you know, be drugged and loopy when she's going to puppy class, and they wanted to give her acepromazine, which I know knocks you out, or Dramamine, which I don't think would help her much either. So they're going to talk to the vet and see what they can do about it, because I hate to have her going to puppy class being nauseated. That's never pleasant. Can you hear the cicadas making noise? Remy tried to eat one the other day. She has decided that bugs are a very good thing to eat, and has stuck her face literally in every nook and cranny at the shop where there is a spider web hanging out, because, let's keep it real, there are spider webs hanging out in nooks and crannies. And she emerges munching on the desiccated bodies and with spiderweb all over her face, which totally grosses me out. Hope you can't see this. This is the retreat project, and I really don't want people seeing it. So anyway, I'm hoping that, I don't even know where I was going now. What was my train of thought? Oh, I don't know. Lost it. Oh, bugs. It was bugs. The cicadas. It has not been a good year for me and bugs. I do not react well to their bites. I have the remnants of a bite. Where did it go? Right here. It's almost gone now, but it's taken 3 weeks for the itching to stop. 3 weeks. And then last week, as I'm walking, minding my own business, mind you, to the car to go to work, something had the nerve to sting me on the back of my leg. There was an immediate welt. I took some Benadryl because I had visions of, I haven't been stung by anything since I was maybe 12. And I was leaving for work and I had visions of anaphylactic shock setting in. So I took a Benadryl. I was late for work that day. There were people waiting for me. My leg felt like it was on fire. All I wanted to do was sit down with the ice pack that I'd brought with me. But it was a really, really busy day and I never got to do that. And that is still itching like a son of a gun. Dan got me some Caladryl lotion. I've been using that, but it doesn't really help. So it's not been a good summer for me in bug bites. But I still say it just feels like summer started and then it's already feeling like fall. And I noticed in a lot of the Floss Tube videos I've been watching that everyone on here is looking forward to fall, and I, on the other hand, am mourning the loss of summer. I like it hot. I like it humid. I do not like to wear shoes, coats, hats, gloves. And inevitably, winter is going to follow fall. So while I might enjoy the weather of fall, I do not enjoy fall as a whole because it leads to winter. And I don't feel like we had much summer this year for some reason. I don't know. So anyway, I decided to come home and sit out on the deck since it's fairly cool out. Yeah. That was the neighbor's dog. I would guess a squirrel is probably teasing him. Remy, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Remy? You okay? Remy's wandering around here somewhere. She has learned to, you know, we hung bells on the back door because we never knew when she wanted to go outside, because she doesn't make any sound because she's so little, and her nails are so small that there's no clickety-clack on the floor to let you know she's moving. So we hung bells on the back door. We've never done that for any dog before. So this was first experience for us with bells. And she learned how to ring the bells pretty quickly. However, she rings the damn bells every 5 minutes. Literally. She goes out, she comes in, she goes to the door, she rings the bell, and then she turns around and she looks at you and she waits for you to come and let her out. And of course you're trying to reinforce the behavior, so you get up again and you let her out. And we're literally doing this every 5 minutes, and I don't know how you get her to go from ringing the bell just because we like being outside to ringing the bell only when we have to go to the bathroom. If you have any helpful hints on that one, let me know. The other problem we're having with her is she gets so distracted that she goes outside and forgets why she went outside and ends up not doing her business. And we'd really like to nip that in the bud too. That Dan asked the gal at puppy class, and they're like, well, put her on a leash and take her to the same spot. Well, yeah, we've done that. We take her to the same spot. She's on a leash. She goes potty right away, but number 2, no. We'd rather sit down and watch the traffic, or we'd rather chase a blade of grass, or scrounge for rabbit poop to eat. So it's quite frustrating. And not an issue, again, that we've ever had with any other dog. Most of the dogs have always gone out, done their business, and they come in. Remy just likes to be difficult. So, oh yeah, I'm liking this. So that's my sad tale of woe on Remy. Otherwise, let's see. Connie is in town this week. I imagine she will stop in briefly tomorrow. But she's using her friend's car. Because Kit brought her to Omaha, and he's going home tomorrow. He's going back to Valentine tomorrow. And so she doesn't really like to drive other people's cars. But she has some stuff to pick up from the shop, so I imagine I'll see her tomorrow or Wednesday. And, as I said earlier, it's Fair week. Dan and I normally go on Senior Citizens Day. Not that we're senior citizens, although we might be considered that. I don't know. But we usually go because Wednesdays are typically a slow day at the shop. But I don't know that we're going to make it there this year. With Remy still being so young, I don't think it's a good idea to leave her for, it'd be a minimum of 6 hours because it's a 2-hour drive to and from, which makes 4 hours, and you know, minimum of 2 hours at the fair. We usually spend more like 4. So I just don't think she needs to be locked up for that long when she's this young. Rags is not a problem. She's used to holding it. But I think Remy's just too young. So I don't know that we'll make it to the fair this year. And let's see. The fob making is going well. I'm trying to make a lot because time, especially this time of the year, tends to get away from me, and they sell really well at retreat. I usually am cleared out when I go to take them to retreat, so I want to make sure I have enough so that I won't have to try and make time to make them over the holidays, because before we know it, it will be the holidays. Won't it, Remy? What does Remy want for Christmas? Probably rabbit poop to chew on. Let's see. I guess I don't know anything else or have anything else to chat about, do I? Nothing's coming to me, so rather than have you wait for me to come up with something, I will let y'all go for the second time. I hope you get a chance to sit outside and stitch, because it's kind of fun. I love my deck. And I won't get out here tonight because I gotta watch the train wreck that is known as Bachelor in Paradise. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.